Heyo guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're at Hockenheim. I'm in the 69 Dodge Charger. Been hell-bent on trying to get the maximum discounts at the vehicle store, dealership, or whatever you want to call it. And right off the bat, we got a Volkswagen going into the wall. Way to start a race. I think he's trying to start a first, and we got another Volkswagen taking out a S2000 and what looks like a standard station wagon. Anyways, we got penalties being handed out. Race control is being a bit strict when it comes to that by the looks of it, going into turn 2. Trying to take this a little tighter. We got Pack here, Race Canadian here. He's gonna hit my front side and try and force me off the track. Looks like he's a little egotistical there, getting around Marcelo here. I'm trying to catch up to the S2000 that got taken off the track, get around him for a second, using that I6 that I threw in here. Almost getting taken out by Marcelo in the back. Looks like he was a little late on the brakes. Good skill there, trying to avoid a collision. Now, going into, let me check my map here. Looks like Mobile 1. Nope, never mind. Turns just 9 and 10. Race Canadian there goes a little squirrely. Side by side right now. Catching up to a Miata by the name of Baby Driver. I'm trying to take this turn a little. Thought I gave a Race Canadian there a little bit of room. It seems like he cannot share the track whatsoever. Going into Satches or Sacks. Now we're going to go ahead and speed this up to when I finally catch up to this pack here. The S2000 and the Miata and a BMW going into turns 2 and 3. Going through turn 4, I'm trying to give the Miata a little bit of room. I know how these drivers are. If they're in a meta car, they want the best line possible. Otherwise, they're going to try and force you off the track. And I tell you that from experience. Going into turns 5 and 6, going into Mercedes now. Trying to take this a little tight, trying to keep up with the S2000. These two are a bit of the meta cars. And going into Mercedes, turns 8 and 9. Still right behind them, trying to make sure I don't lose too much time behind them. I am in a muscle car after all, so turning is not the easiest. Going into Mobile 1, they are slowly catching up to the BMW, who's hard on the brakes. He goes off the course. He forces the S2000 into the Miata and forces them off the track. I do end up hitting them on the back as well, but that doesn't cause me to fishtail there. The fishtailing is just me being completely bad at the game. I'm not even going to lie about that. Going into a sad sud curve here. Right on his bumper, I end up tapping him on the back again. That is, again, just bad driving. He does seem to try and fake me out a little bit by trying to turn into my line, but right there he does kind of force me around, where the S2000 getting a little bit of revenge. Great corrector there in the BMW. He does force him off the track once again, and at this point I realize his ego is bruised. He's going to try and force me off the track. Probably doesn't want me getting around him, where I do anyways, going into turns 3 and 4. And Bach Flame looks like he got around too, and the BMW is off the track. Revenge is best served cold when you have a really small ego like that. Now we're going to go ahead and speed up the rest of the race, because at that point nothing really happens. I finish in 6th place. Honestly, not bad for a heavyweight Charger powered by an i6. What was my best lap time? A 1:44.1. Really not bad. Kind of makes a little bit of sense on this track, though. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next race. Alright, taking this to Mugello. Now, we're opting for the Challenger this time. A little power build I've been working on for C-Class. And so far, doing a pretty good job compared to the pack. Now, keep an eye on Markman here. He's going to be a major factor in this particular race. Now, going into turn 1, he's going to tap me on my right side and force me off the track. and he does get a penalty for it. At least I'm assuming that's why. Ant-Man, or X-Ton here, he tries shooting up there, but I end up blocking off. Causing a collision, 100% my fault. I'll own up to that one as best as I can, but Sapphire, I do give him a little love tap there, let him know, hey, I am right behind you. Pay attention to your little arrow indicators behind you. That shows, hey, there's a driver behind you. And at this point, I think I am pretty much in the clear, so I'm just trying to catch up to Markman here, because wasn't really too happy about being thrown off into the sand there, or at least almost thrown off into there. I didn't really want to make sandcastles today, but he seemed to have other plans. So on this straightaway, it's honestly my best bet for trying to catch up to everyone, and it seems to be doing the job. I'm right behind Markman here, trying to keep up with his time penalty at least, and Mantman, he does get tapped there. He seems to go for a pit maneuver, completely messes that one up. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and skip ahead a few laps to when I finally get done chasing Markman here. He does mess up the final turn here, and on the straightaway for the Challenger, it is not a good idea. So I decide, you know what, let's put the pedal to the metal and start getting a huge gap between me and him. So far, got damn near double his penalty range going into turn 1. And we're going to go ahead and speed up this lap, because at this point, not really much happens but him catching up. And going into the final turn, he is not happy about me getting around him, so he's going to go in for a pit maneuver. Luckily, he doesn't know that in Forza Horizon 4 and 5, I have been drifting a lot, so keeping the car under control while fishtailing is not exactly a unfamiliar thing for me. So I do get around him again. Don't know how he takes that one, but either way, I do stay ahead of him for a little while, braking at the sign that says 100. Shy Guy SAV here. He almost goes up the side there. Luckily, I've raced him before, and he is actually a very respectable, very clean racer, so with him ahead of Markman, I feel a little better. Plus, I feel like it would be a straight-up race at this point, so honestly, I'm not even going to try and pronounce the names of these curves here, but we are trying to get into the final 2 turns here. I do get a little love tap from Shy Guy there, not enough to really mess with the race, but it does cause my lap to be a little dirty. And I do go off track there, and I think, yeah, I get a track penalty for that one, and I do mess up the final turn here. 100% my fault. I did get pressured into trying to take that corner a little faster than I should have, but either way, I tried to catch up to Markman at the very least, and I think I do. In fact, let's go ahead and see. Yep, I do get past him. Oh, wait, no, I don't get past Markman because of my time penalties. But anyways, that's going to be it for that race. Let's move on. Alright, so we got this at Grand Oak now, back in the Charger. And this is actually a rather fun yet anger-inducing race, I want to say. I'm not too sure how you want to put it, but either way, going through turn 1 in second place, Captain Zuzu almost taking someone out. KR Melliot in a Miata, one of the meta cars. He's trying to shoot up for the first position spot, but he doesn't realize that going through the horseshoe, or at least Grand Oak, has a good power straight that we are on right now. So having double the horsepower, I get around him pretty easily. Not gonna lie, going into this 90-degree left, I'm trying to keep up with Koba here. Get a little love tap from the Miata. Now, that's gonna start a series of events, so we'll go ahead and speed this up because they seem to happen in similar, if not the same spot. It's just me doing some battling with Kuba, using my power to get close to him, but then you got Matty C going around me. I'm not even gonna fight him. I know he's a fast driver. But anyways, going into the horseshoe, we got the Miata getting close. I dip a couple of tires off into the grass, kick up some dust. blocking off the line as best as I can. It looks like Merliot is going to try and go for a pit maneuver, but I did give him quite a bit of room there. Going down the straight, trying to pull away, trying to use the power to my advantage. I think I got like 300 horsepower in this thing, and I think that Miata maybe has 120. So using that to my advantage on these straights are going to be my best go. So we're going to go ahead and skip ahead to the next lap, lap 4 to be exact. Back in the horseshoe. He goes for another pit maneuver. That one a little more obvious. Captain Zuzu does get around him. I don't think he realizes the more he tries to force me off the track, the more he's going to end up having a messed up time. So, anyways, going into this left-hander here, Zuzu is going to slowly creep up. I do mess up that turn a little bit, going fishtail just a tad. Captain Zuzu is going to try and make a move here, but going into the carousel, he botches this turn. I get back around him like it's nothing. Going through the carousel, now's the time when I start building a time gap, but Merliot is slowly getting close, but we're on a major power part of the track, so we decide to just put the pedal to the floor and start slowly pulling away, kind of like as it is, onto the final lap, in podium position, trying to keep that, but going into turn 1 and into the horseshoe, I think this is where frustration starts settling in for him, so I'm trying to take the most defensive line possible, trying to not give him an inch, not really give him any sort of chance of getting around. Going into the horseshoe, he gives me a little love tap there. I block off his line. He goes for a pit maneuver, and he seems to fail at it. So I'm trying to use the power to my advantage once again, try and get as far away as possible. Going into this 90-degree left-hander, taking it a little bit faster than what I normally do. I see that yellow arrow go off to the right. He's in the sand, making sandcastles. He's got to calm down a little bit. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and speed up the rest of this race because he's going to come in last, as hilarious as that is. And we finished in 3rd place. My lap time, not quite the best on the board. In fact, I probably should have came in last, but it just goes to show what defensive driving can do. So let's go ahead and see this little podium of mine. Don't see that as often, and move on to the next race. Alright, final race for you guys. We are at Hakone, and this was what really got me thinking that the trend was going to start for this video, where I find a bunch of salty racers. Now, the Surly Cook in 1st place, he is going to be the main benefactor. In fact, after this, I think he should change his name to the Salty Cook. But right now, we have a little Dodge Chevy showdown between a Charger and a Camaro. With the Camaro slightly ahead, Charger pulling ahead, but now the Camaro is starting to pull right ahead. I think the car is lighter, so that's going to be a major factor in this race. But here I am sitting in his draft, keeping up with him pretty well. But now he's gotten around to Surly Cook, and I'm trying to do the same thing. Breaking into, I think this is turn 3 and 4, if I'm not mistaken. Surly Cook going for a fake out. Doesn't really work out too well. Gives me a little tap on the backside. Now he's fishtailing. Not really something you want to be doing while a Charger is ahead of you on the turn. He's going to go in on the inside here at the curves. He seems to be going for Miata strats, where he's going to try and block off the best possible line, even though you're already there. But anyways, going into the final turn, I am literally right behind him, trying to build in some draft, trying to stay right behind him, using the power to my advantage. That's one thing I know I have above him, so on this straightaway, getting around him pretty easily. Braking for the turn, I do brake a little late there, and I start to fishtail. The rain is going to start messing with me a little bit, but Surly Cook going into my backside there. Going into my right back quarter fender, if I'm not mistaken. Going into the power curves here. Trying to give him enough room to where he doesn't go off the track, but he seems to do the same, but now we're on another straightaway, and this is where power really starts to play a factor. Slowly pulling away, getting away from it as best as possible. Going into, I think turn 4 is now. It is now that I look at the map. He goes for a dive bomb. I go for a cutback, getting around him pretty easily. Going into turn, I think 5. I don't have a map behind me, but he does ram right into my backside. Seemingly trying to force me off the track. Again, I think he is very salty as of right now, since the muscle car is getting around him pretty easily. Going into the next final turn, he's going to go for a pit maneuver, and now he's going to go and try and force me off the track. Luckily, I am pointed right near the, luckily I'm facing forward, and I decided, you know what, let's just go ahead and continue on with the race. See if I can catch up with these guys, get as far away from him as possible. But it don't happen. That's pretty much the race. Anyways, that was a bit of a fun one. I hope you guys had a great day. Make sure to say, or pretend I said something corny here to get you to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you guys next time. See y'all later.